Ah, good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening in the case of my buddy Sven. It is 3 p.m. in the East on a Wednesday. And you know what that means. It is time once again for Wednesday Afternoon Live with me, your boy, SaleenDriver. I'm not late, Libby. Shut up. I'm right on time. And Libby's here. Oh, God. This is going to be a disaster of a live stream, I can tell. Just from having Libby here, it's going to go downhill almost immediately. But this is Wednesday Afternoon Live with me, SaleenDriver, host of the longest running Wednesday afternoon live stream in all of YouTube that I know of. Yep, shit show, definitely. Definitely a shit show. This is the longest running Wednesday afternoon live stream in all of YouTube that I know of. Raj. We endeavor every week to show that we are the definitive show about nothing in particular. Now let's see who's here. Matt Dumit. He was here way before I went live. I assume he's still here. Yes, he is. Nate the Great was not late. Mr. Bug Eyes himself was here early. So was Sven. Good to see you. As I said, the aforementioned Libby, our favorite Aussie, and Mom. I was not even a minute late. No. Yes, this will be a shit show. It always is. Amanda is here. Good afternoon, my dear. Good to see you. Oh, nothing wrong with you being here. It's just you're insane. That's all. Joshua George with the new 7015 tag on the end of his screen name. I don't know what that means, but good to see you again, sir. Sven, thank you for the €2 super sticker. I appreciate that. Most kind of you, sir. What a week. What a week. First of all, my thoughts and prayers, such as they are, to all the people who are victims of and related to the fine folks in Texas who recently had a major disaster befell them. It is a horrible, horrible story that a flash flood during a simple rain event, well, maybe not so simple, but a rain event took the lives of so many people, including young, innocent children. Nobody deserves to die that young, and nobody deserves to die that way. Battle Angel is here. I wonder, Battle Angel, have you returned back to Georgia yet, or are you still in Vegas? But I welcome in one of the most patient women in all of the internet, and one of the most long-suffering and battle-hardened women in all of the internet. If you know, you know. But good to see you, my dear. Hope you had, if you're back from Vegas, they fly back tonight. Okay. Good to know. Well, have a good, safe flight, BA, you and Uncle Lou both. I hope you had a great time in Sin City. I've personally never been to Las Vegas. Maybe I'll go there someday. I don't have an overly compelling reason to do so. But I should probably experience it once in my lifetime, right? Let's see. I wanted to get the Texas thing out there. It is a tragedy. Um, there are some low lifes out there making light, maybe not making light of the tragedy, but using the tragedy for their own sick, twisted political purposes. I believe one group was saying that it's Trump's fault because the National Weather Service in the area was understaffed due to Doge cuts, when the reality was that they actually had overstaff at the time. Some city worker or teacher or something actually got onto her Twitter feed or X or whatever it's called, and was saying that she was celebrating the death of all those children because they were young white Christians whose parents probably voted for Trump, and now there's been retribution for that. I hope that person reaches the lowest level of hell and burns there for eternity. Disgusting. Kerrville, Texas, where Johnny Manziel is from. Okay, did not know that. I echo Amada's sentiment. I hope Battle Angel and Uncle Lou have a safe, uneventful journey back to Georgia. Very true, Matt. That woman, if I can call her that in the most loosest term, and we assume she identifies as a woman because she is a leftist. You never know. She could identify as a gay turnip or something. But yeah, she is reason number 1,744,527 not to join the sewer that is Twitter. I was on Twitter a long time ago, and that was even before the big censorship push during the Pudd'nhead administration, or before that even. And I quit Twitter because it was just basically a sewer. I was getting peppered daily with anti-Semitic bullshit, and I just couldn't. I didn't want to put up with that anymore. That woman is NCP. That's very true. Very true. Yeah, that's probably true. But you know what? I am a freedom of speech guy, and I always thought, like, most of you may not remember or may not have been alive during the big Skokie, Illinois controversy, where the local neo-Nazi party wanted to march through Skokie, Illinois, which had a heavy Jewish population, and they wanted to march through the town, to demonstrate their love of all things fascist, I guess. And they were denied a permit, and it was an ironic twist of fate that Jewish lawyers from the ACLU, that's the American Civil Liberties Union, for those of you who don't know, defended them and won for them the right for them to march, but they did march under heavy police escort. I think it ended up for every one neo-Nazi that marched, there were like 3 cops to line the marching route or whatever. And I've always been of the idea that it's better to have free speech and let these people out there and let them speak and let them have their say, because it's in the Constitution, freedom of speech, but also B, that way they're out there. You can identify them. You know who they are. And they're easier to keep track of if they're out in the open instead of in the dark shadows. I always am of the opinion that dangerous, sick, twisted individuals and groups are more dangerous when they're hidden than when they are out in the open, because, as the old saying goes, sunshine is the greatest disinfectant. And having people like that out there in the sunshine to be seen is, in my humble opinion, the best defense against them. Steve Pearson, good afternoon to you, sir. But I don't know how we got off into that little segment, but let's see what else is going on. The big beautiful bill passed. This to me is a good thing. Is it perfect? No, it's not perfect. No bill is perfect. Never let good be the enemy. Perfection be the enemy of good. I think is paraphrasing an old saying. I'm glad it passed. That way, that the tax cuts in 2017 are now permanent, and you and I will not see a 50 or 60% tax increase when they were supposed to expire. This is, in my opinion, a good thing. So that happened. Hang on a minute, I'm taking care of something. Yeah. Anyway, and let's see, we are now well into July, which is a good thing, and that means we are getting really close to the start of college football season. And that's a good thing. What is this? Joshua said, "Big beautiful is bad sports betting. The tax winnings bad for Uncle Lou." Well, yeah, I guess I didn't know that sports betting winnings were taxed. Um, I would think in order to offset that, if you're going to tax bet winnings, would you not be able to deduct bet losses? That would seem to be fair. If you're going to tax your winnings, you could take your losses as tax deductions. That would be interesting. But, hey, no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security. I think these are all good things and good wins for the American people. But, maybe y'all feel differently than that. No, I was being facetious, Joshua. I know you can't deduct losses. That would make too much sense, of course. Let's see. I got to copy this so I can be ready to install that later. Watch 6-2. How you doing, sir? I have been well. I've been a little frustrated. That you remember I was trying to sell that Zelos watch and never have sold it yet. I just I can't sell it. I'm gonna try and put it up for sale again over the weekend, but can't sell. Where is Big Tube? I don't know. He'll be along. Sometimes he's later than others. Hang on, I gotta read this real quick. Hang on. Anyway, okay. Yeah, well, all bills have too much pork, Joshua. I agree. Stingray, how you doing, sir? Good to see you. Hairy Leg, you can deduct gambling losses. Really? I did not know that. I don't gamble, so I don't know. The last time I made a bet, it was with Uncle Lou a couple of years ago. Actually, more than a couple of years ago. No, that's not true. I made a bet with Sea Dog, and I lost. I bet Sea Dog that Georgia Tech wouldn't be bowl eligible, and he bet that they would be, and they were bowl eligible. So I lost $50, and I paid him immediately. The last bet that I made that I won was the Florida Georgia game, Raj, where Florida beat Georgia, and the bet was with Uncle Lou for a mini helmet of our choice. If I had lost, he would tell me which one he wanted, but I won, so I sent him the link to the one I wanted, and 2 days later, I got my helmet. Nice up. Of course, Lou is a professional gambler now, and I don't want to play. I don't want to play anymore. Oh yeah, Sven is right. Yeah, I'm sorry, Sven is right. Last year, I did make one bet. Last year again with Sven, at his suggestion. It was again the Florida Mississippi State game, and Florida won, and Sven paid off. Yes, he did. Octavian and Josh Prey are delusional gaming. Yeah, I don't claim to be in the same orbit as Octavian and Josh. I'm not. I don't really know Josh very well, but I have seen Octavian's posts, and that man is out there. He's on like fucking Pluto or something. Um, I don't get Octavian thinking that Florida is going to make the playoffs or win the SEC. I don't even know if Florida can get to 6-6. So yeah, I'm not really sure about that. Oops. What the? How did I must have hit that? I hit the wrong button. Anyway, I'm going to put the link in the chat. If Libby is still in the chat, maybe she will come and join us and laugh in that wonderful Aussie laugh that she has that people seem to be big fans of. And I'm sure Sven will join us. And yeah, very true. Everything does rest on DJ. DJ may be a great quarterback, but the problem is he's playing for an idiot coach. Octavian is just being entertained. Yeah, well, obviously. Sven!
Hello.
Oh, wait a minute.
The last bet we had was, I told you, if you, for any circumstances whatsoever, beat Ole Miss and send them out of the playoffs, I'll send you $10. And I never paid so happily a bill. This was the last one. We had 2 bets last year.
Oh, we did? Okay. Well, my memory fades, you know.
We are old. We can fade memories a little bit.
Well, I try to, you know, work on my memory, but sometimes it just doesn't work out.
It is what it is.
Yeah, it sucks getting old.
It doesn't suck. You can't change it.
No,
and that's good. And that is good.
Yeah,
That nobody can do.
my younger daughter is always forever complaining. I don't want to be an adult. I don't want to get old. Blah 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 blah. I said, okay. I said, Alex, because her name is Alex. I said, Alex, there's only two ways to prevent aging: suspended animation or death.
Yeah.
Neither one sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, both are not good plans.
No, not at all. But she's getting better at adulting. She's getting ready to move. In about a month, she'll be moving from Tampa back down here to Sarasota.
By the
So
way, you forgot
she's
one
looking
big
forward to that.
news. Mr.
What did you say?
Putin talked to our prime minister and said, if you further support Ukraine, you don't get gas anymore.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah. And just
Well, that was a brilliant ploy on Germany's part to hitch their wagon to a megalomaniac like Putin, for their energy needs.
Yeah, I mean, Germany. In you are old enough. You remember Chancellor Schmidt, Helmut Schmidt. He was before Helmut Kohl. In
I remember.
In 1967, he went to the Norwegian government and said, "Okay, guys, you have enough oil, and the distance between northern Germany and Norway is not that far. Let's build a pipeline. We pay for the pipeline. You have nothing to do. You bring us the gas, we pay and build a pipeline." They started to build a pipeline, and in 1980, Kohl went to Chancellor, and they stopped it. How dumb is this?
Well, that was dumb, but even worse was during the first Trump presidency. Trump agreed to provide Europe with plenty of natural gas from our own reserves, which are some of the biggest in the world. And we were doing it, and everything was great. And then all of a sudden, the senile one got stole the election and shut down all domestic, almost all domestic energy production. And now all of a sudden, you got all of Europe has to turn to Vlad the Impaler for their energy needs, because Putinhead and company decided that the Green New scam was more important than anything else. And not only did America suffer, but Europe suffers. But fortunately, the adults are back in charge in America, and maybe we can do something to help Europe with their energy problem.
I mean,
so you don't have to rely on an ex-KGB thug.
He was 22 years the boss of the KGB, and nobody knows that.
Well, I know that.
Yeah, I mean, you went to Harvard. You should know that.
I didn't go to Harvard. I went to UF. My dad went to Harvard.
Didn't you say UF is the Harvard of the South?
No, I never said that. I said UF has UF's academic reputation has been going nowhere but up over the years.
Yeah.
But I always heard that Duke University was the Harvard of the South.
Duke has really high standards.
Yeah, except when it comes to justice for the lacrosse team. But did I say that out loud? I'm such a horrible human being.
And my son told me when he went to Mississippi State that the aerospace program from Mississippi State is one of the top 10 sharpest programs in all of the U.S. You need excellent grades and a reputation to even get in there. They work for ISS and for all the Mars missions, and it's the aerospace university for the USA, Mississippi State. They have a big house there, and he said he knows some guys there, and these are all little Einsteins.
Joshua echoes that Duke is the Harvard of the South. Yeah.
Yeah.
All Cold War kids are about.
By the way, we have our weather is absolute crazy. Yesterday we had 97. Today is 70. 5 days ago we had 101 in Berlin, in Germany. And the next day we had 72. It's crazy.
Well, that's that damn global warming, isn't it?
I don't know.
No. Amazon is almost. Amazon is almost here. I'm getting a delivery, and I can see them on my camera.
Yeah, then anyway. Go on. I'm here. I entertain.
No, they're not. They're not here yet. When I see him walking back to his truck, then I'll just grab the stuff real quick. I don't have we don't have a big porch pirate problem here, but I like to get the stuff inside as quick.
Harry, come in here. I want to know how you're doing. Who? I want to troll the UGA fans a bit. Come in here.
Who?
Harry, my old friend Harry.
Harry. I thought you said Eric.
Harry Leg.
Drop the link again.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, if Harry wants to come in, that's fine. Zona Tucson is here. Good to see you, sir.
Yeah.
And, forgot to say, welcome to Atypical Gump. And Joshua. Yeah, okay. Whatever. Nope, there is the truck. Yay. Amazon has those lovely, darker gray trucks.
In Germany,
they have the electric trucks around here now. I saw one of them parked by the side of the road smoking.
Yeah, I mean, they have lithium batteries, and this lithium, to get to the lithium, produces more carbon dioxide as any car in his lifetime.
Yeah.
To even get the lithium.
I thought it was funny that the Florida heat zapped out the batteries on that truck. Damn thing was smoking from underneath the chassis.
Yeah.
So like, okay, well, Raj, it's like, don't use electric vehicles for hauling stuff in Florida. That doesn't end well. I mean, you got to bang on the air conditioner pretty hard around here, and you're sitting in traffic, and it's hot, and those batteries heat up, and then they just cook off.
Yeah. And this stuff is not proven. I call a car proven when it runs 10 years without any major issues on the road. Like what do I know? A Ford 150 or a Volkswagen. These trucks or these cars run 500,000 miles without any problems. You have to take care of the normal.
Did you know that Harry had medical issues?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I know that.
Oh, yeah. Well,
that's why I want to talk to him. I want to know how is he doing.
But, he says he can't come in because he's all his resources are taken up with medical devices, so he can't come in. I'll be right back. So hang on.
The testing Friday will deliver the desired results, and I can get rid of these monitors. Yeah, Harry, I hope you're getting better. I hope. Maybe you buy a cowbell and get rid of UGA. UGA is a jinx. Trust me. They are bad for you. Come to the cowbell college. We are the nice guys.
Okay. Now they're inside, so I feel better. Anyway.
That was quick.
Well, it was just, he left them outside my screen door, which I hated when they do that, because if a thunderstorm passes through here, they're going to get wet. But, I just wanted to get them inside so I don't have to worry about it. And I concentrate on dealing with all you fine folks here without distraction.
Yeah.
But I honestly, I didn't know that Harry was having medical issues. So thoughts and prayers, good sir. Thoughts and prayers.
He has it maybe half a year or so.
Oh.
No. And I was asking you about him and Vic, and he rarely attempts. And I saw him this week on another chat, and I told him he should have come in here, but he didn't know if he can make it. But he's here, and I'm happy he's here, and I hope he's getting better soon. I like Harry. Harry is my old man.
Oh. Ew. Yeah, that's not good, sir. That's not good at all. I hope that those test results come back in your favor, and you can get off all the equipment, and you get the hell out of the hospital or whatever. Where is Vic? I do not know where Vic is. And Nate was in here a minute ago, and at the beginning, and he's gone. And
I had a problem with. Oh, sorry, I interrupted.
Libby was here too, and I thought she would pop into the chat and update us all on how motherhood is going. But
I was at Nate's last week, and my internet went out for 5 minutes. I don't know why. Maybe I didn't pay the bill for 5 minutes. Possible. And when I came back, his stream was gone. I told him, and he said, "It's okay. It is what it is." By the way, did you hear the best offensive lineman, this 5-star from Notre Dame, is injured again? The best player on Notre Dame's team it's an offensive tackle, and he is injured again. And if he is not there for the first 6 weeks, Notre Dame is not a playoff team. They will lose 3 games. I can tell you that. He's by a mile the best player on this team. But I forgot his name. I have to look it up. And
SEC Media Days
Arkansas plays Notre Dame, and the Aggies play Notre Dame early on. That would be funny. Notre Dame, no conference, and no playoffs. What is this?
What is what?
Boop. Boop.
Oh, email. It's telling me what I already know. I got 3 Amazon deliveries, so it's sending me 3 emails. Thank you. Appreciate it.
So your computer is not overheated and will not explode like an electric truck.
This computer is now 8 years old.
Like mine. Mine is 7 years old. And
I have no reason to replace it right now. If I did replace it, I would probably get a high-powered Mac Mini and really equip it out real good, and then attach at least 3 monitors to it.
Yeah, I don't like laptops. I have one here at Dell.
No. A Mac Mini is not a laptop. A Mac Mini is it's shaped like a square aluminum square.
Oh, it's a PC.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I disagree, Joshua. I've only had 2 Macs, and both of them iMacs. I had one lasted about 8 years, and actually there's nothing wrong with it. I just want something faster, and I've had this one for 7 years.
Yeah.
I've never had a smidgen of problem with either Mac. Never been in for service, not once.
Yeah.
And Tim Tebow is a new dad. Congratulations to Tim Tebow. At least now we know that Tim Tebow had sex.
Are you sure?
No, not completely, but let's make the assumption that he married a woman that didn't cheat on him.
I think so. Did we discuss?
I mean, if anyone can find a good woman in this crazy old world that will treat him properly and not be a cheater or anything like that, Tebow would be that guy.
I tell you what, I like Tebow. Tebow is good people. I like him really.
GF Sports, good to see you, good sir. GF Sports has been producing some videos recently, little short videos here and there, but he went silent for a while, and now all of a sudden he has returned to video making. So welcome back, GF Sports.
Yeah.
Just what we need, another Georgia fan making videos. Yeah.
Georgia? What is Georgia?
Never
heard of this.
Some fucking school in the middle of the middle.
You mean the Fast Bulldogs?
Yes.
I get it.
Yes.
Yeah, I get it. Now I get it. The fake Bulldogs.
Well, I'm not going to get in the middle of that. I'm not getting in the middle of that argument. I mean, there are many schools that have Bulldog mascots, but there's only one Florida. There's only one Gator.
Yeah, the original member, the first original member from Georgia in the old SEC was Georgia Tech, and Georgia Tech has the oldest stadium in all of NCAA, and the second oldest is Mississippi State, and we were the first member from Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama in the SEC.
So that is the name of the Notre Dame tackle. Okay. Harry says the Dogs will repeat as SEC champions. Probably. You never know.
Yes, sir.
We'll see.
Harry,
Octavian right now would probably be screaming at the top of the lungs, they got to get past Florida. Yeah.
No.
Pump the brakes there, Octavian, and the rest of Gator Nation. Let's see what happens with our running game and how our defense plays.
As long as Texas does not win the SEC, I'm fine. I don't care if it's Florida. I don't care if it's Georgia. I don't care if it's Kentucky. And I would care if it would be Mississippi State. But I guess this is a little bit impossible or unrealistic or delusional or however you want to call it. But The boss of Mississippi State, Dr. Kiram, said Levy gets, under any circumstances, at least until the end of the 26th season. There is no if, whens, or buts. And even if he loses to Southern Miss week 1, he will be the coach at Mississippi State in 26. And Kiram also said, thank you, SEC, for the schedule with our restart after Mike Leach passed away. I found this interesting.
Yeah, but Harry, isn't Texas favored to win the SEC this year? I mean, I guess it does come down to Texas versus Georgia, really.
No. Disagree.
No? Then who is going to... Okay, great Svengali. See what I did there? Tell us all, who is playing for the SEC championship?
I think, I don't know, and I don't believe. I think Ohio State will shred Texas to pieces week 1.
Yeah, but
they lose by at least 2 touchdowns.
But Texas could still lose to Ohio State. It could lose to Ohio State and still play for the SEC championship.
And Texas will lose to Georgia. That's L number 2. And I believe,
but only one in conference.
I believe that Texas loses on the road a game they're not supposed to lose, like a Florida or Arkansas or Wendy or whoever they play, or an Aggies or whatever they play. I don't know. Even Mississippi State, they will overlook one team, and one team comes and gets them. And with three losses, they are done, because they have the easiest schedule on planet Earth. They play 2 ranked teams all season long. Florida will not be ranked. Oklahoma will not be ranked. Vanderbilt will not be ranked. Texas A&M will not be ranked. That's all illusional. Florida will not win 9 games. That's delusional. With this schedule, the same with Oklahoma. And to be ranked, you need at least 9 wins. No?
GF, I don't know, honestly. Chances are 50-50 right now. I don't know. Really got to get through. I got to get through summer. You know, I got to get through hurricane season. I got to get through the holidays and then see what's going on. I'd say it's 50-50 whether or not I make it to Nashville. Yeah. You know, I'm under no obligation to be there.
Yeah.
You know, I'll do what I can, but I don't know. We'll see.
I think
I'd like to go. Admittedly, I'd like to go, but I ain't making no promises one way or the other right now.
What I think it's come down to is when does the Burr kick Ty Simpson out of the starting positions and brings the rookie? And the rookie is an absolute stud. We have a show on weekdays from 11 to 1. It's our former Mississippi State quarterback under Jackie Sherrill, and he won. He was the last one who won the SEC West with Mississippi State. So, and he was the quarterback, and he makes a daily radio show on YouTube, Facebook. And he said he watched film from Austin Simmons, this Alabama kid, and all the unknown freshmen. And he said the best one of them all is this Alabama kid by far. He's an absolute stud.
So you think Alabama's coming out of? You think Alabama versus Georgia?
I think Alabama versus Georgia, and Alabama beats Georgia.
Bold statement, sir.
Yep, of course, bold. Who I am? I'm a dumb German with a cowbell, and I have no clue what I'm talking about, as always. What did you say? Texas and Georgia?
I thought I was thinking it could be Texas and Georgia.
Okay, $10. Alabama, Georgia versus Texas, Georgia. $10. How about that, Saleen?
Okay. No, I'll take that bet.
But write it down because I will forget it.
Okay, I'll write it down right now.
And you remind me. I will not take care of this bet. If I lose, you tell me, okay, you have to send me $10 and I will do it.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah,
you know,
I pay my
I mean, even with a relatively new quarterback for Georgia and a relatively new quarterback for Texas, I still think right now those two teams are the class of the SEC.
Yeah, Connor Stockton is in year 3 in this program. So, and and the difference between Manning and Stockton is very simple. Stockton showed me that he can, under pressure, go down the field, march down the field, and score a touchdown. Arch Manning had against Florida and Georgia the only two defenses who can say are decent. So he had a quarterback ranking of 12 and 29 on a scale to 100. He was awful. He was absolutely terrible.
Who's Keelan Russell? Is that Alabama's quarterback?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We will see.
Alabama's got a brand new quarterback. Hasn't done really anything, really.
I'm not so sure, guys. I'm not so
sure. He hasn't played yet. Did he play last year?
No. No, he was in high school last year.
Well, then he's an unproven quarterback.
When my quarterback, who played 4 years in the SEC and in high school, tells me this guy is a stud, I trust him.
Well, and that's why they play the game.
Yeah, and he covers Mississippi State with Neil Price for the radio for hairstate.com since 20 years or something like that. He knows.
Well, I mean that's true, Harry. Stockton has been coached by Bobo, the Bobos for ever. But every Georgia fan seems to really have a hate on for Bobo as your OC or whatever he is.
Bobo is good.
I don't know if that's a flex or not. And Stockton, didn't play a lot yet. I mean, he hasn't played a lot yet. He has played, and he is third year in the system, which is a good thing. But how much experience does Stockton have? And y'all seem to really dislike Bobo a lot. So,
Saleen,
I don't know.
The truth is simple. Todd Monken won a championship with Kirby in 22 and 23.
Yeah, so, I know.
And he went pro to the NFL. So, and Bobo was his assistant, and he came in. So, and last season, the Georgia wide receivers were the number 134, dead last in dropping balls by the wide receiver. They were dead last. They were worse as Mississippi State and Kennesaw State. Worse than them. So they were always open. They were wide open, but they dropped the passes. And Bobo can't catch a ball in a game. He can scheme them open, but he can't catch a ball. So, and if they drop 30% of the passes, I mean, that's not on Bobo.
No, it's true. I mean, coaches can only do so much.
And that's how I see it. I mean, is Bobo better as Monken? Hell no. Monken was a top 3 offensive mind in this league. I give you Lincoln Riley and maybe Sarkisian or Mullen. So that's the top 4 in my mind. So maybe Elaine Kiffin, 5. So that's the 5 really guys who can get a offense really going. So,
well, Harry, I understand what you're saying, but one of the people that's complaining the loudest about Bobo is, Uncle Lou. Last time I checked, he was complaining about Bobo anyway. Now that may have changed.
No, he complained about the people who complaining about Bobo, and he said the same what I said, or near the same.
That's not the way I remember it, but I might be remembering it wrong. But I don't know. I just thought a lot of Georgia fans were complaining about.
Yeah, because they didn't win a championship. It's simple.
Well, they just didn't like the way Bobo was calling the offense. They thought he wasn't doing a good job or whatever.
Yeah, they're crazy.
I don't know. It's not my team. I don't pay that much attention. I don't pay close attention to Georgia. I pay close attention to Florida. And I know that in Florida, for example, we still don't have an OC. We still have a head coach that thinks he's an OC. And we have an athletic director who's a blithering idiot. So Florida got their own problems. So, I pay attention to the Gators. I don't pay attention to the other teams. So I thought Georgia fans were complaining that Mike Bobo was not a good OC. Now, if I'm wrong, I'll own it. But I don't remember being wrong about that.
A lot of Georgia fans complaining about Bobo, but in reality, Bobo is a really, really good OC. Otherwise, Kirby shows him the door. It's that simple. It's business, and Kirby is the best right now in the business, with 2-3 other guys, but he is on top. So, and he knows what he expects from his offense. So, and if he thinks that Bobo is not good, he shows him the door and brings someone else in. And everybody, he can call any OC in the NCAA, everybody, maybe outside of Ohio State or Alabama, if he calls, these people come to Georgia.
Okay, let me see if I can reach out to Battle Angel here. Battle Angel, I know, was in the chat. If you're still in the chat, and Lewis happens to be nearby, which he probably isn't. He's probably at the blackjack table. But if he's nearby, ask him if he likes or dislikes Bobo as the OC. Let me see if we can clear this up. And if he's not around and you can't ask him,
we ask him next week.
Well, you assume he'll come on here, but I don't know. All right. I don't want to talk about Georgia. I hate Georgia. But we talk about Georgia. So, I'm sure that Georgia's receiver problem will be mitigated in 2025.
Yeah, I mean,
they can't possibly have 2 bad years in a row.
Yeah, I mean they had Brock Bowers and Led McConkey, or what was his name? The speedy wide receiver.
Wait, they're gone. Those 2 are gone.
Yeah, and they are gone, and it was a complete new team. Rara Thomas got his he threw fists at his girlfriend and got kicked off the team, and 2 others got suspended, and 1 went to jail, and it was an absolute disaster with this Georgia wide receiver. Rara Thomas, at Mississippi State. He was a top receiver. He's a 4-star, borderline 5-star wide receiver. He was really, really good. But
if he can't control himself, what good is he?
Yeah, he's a knucklehead.
I mean, you can be the greatest football player of your position that God ever put on the earth. But if you got mental and emotional problems, you can't control yourself, you're worse than useless.
Yeah, and it was the right decision to kick him off the team.
Yeah, it was. But somebody...
there is no ifs, ands, and buts. If you lay your hands on a woman, you have to get off the team. There is no ifs, ands, and buts.
Absolutely. You don't hit women.
Yeah.
Unless they hit you first. Then you have a decision to make.
My grandma used to spank me sometimes when I was little, but this was in the 60s and early 70s, and at this time it was allowed.
Okay, your grandma spanking you is not the same thing. I'm talking about if some random female takes a swing at you out in public and connects. What do you do?
I think
my initial reaction would be, if it's just one swing, I would probably try and get away from her. But if she's actively wailing at me, I mean, am I allowed to defend myself? I think I should be allowed to defend myself.
I'm not that small. I think no woman would swing at me with her fist. I don't think so.
Well, ideally, nobody should be swinging at anybody. We don't live in an ideal world.
My last fist fight I had at school in 7th grade. Can you believe
Let me guess. That was in the last century?
Way.
Yeah, me too.
I'm the same age as you. I'm 2 years younger as you.
That's my 7th grade for me was...
I'm born 67.
78, I think, 1978.
Yeah, I was born in 67. You are born in 65.
That's true.
Yeah, you are 2 years older than me. And Harry was born in 1492. He's at least 500.
Oh, be nice to Harry.
He's the old man. I can do this. He can take it, and he has to take it. He told me enough. I can do this. Harry is my buddy. I like Harry. Yeah. Did you see Lou's video? What if and buts? If Ohio State loses to Penn State and Texas, and Michigan gives them the third L and they don't make the playoffs? I found this interesting. And there's I don't believe that Arch Manning is good enough in his first real test on an absolute loaded team to go into the shoe and beat Ohio State. But what if they do this and Ohio State goes to Penn State and they lose? And they lose again to Michigan. 9-3 with no quality win at all. Nobody lets Ohio State in the playoffs with 9-3.
No, nor should they.
So, and if they get their third loss in week 14 against Michigan State, do they fire Ryan Day? This is fascinating. I tell you what, the Buckeyes going bonkers if they lose to Michigan and don't make the playoffs because of Michigan. They go bonkers. They go nuts. It's interesting, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Or the second one was, what if Legway stays healthy and goes 9-3 with this schedule? Let them in the playoffs, because Florida State has the schedule with quality wins then if they go 9-3. they should be in the playoffs over a 10-2 Big 12 team or a 10-2 Big 10 team or a 10-2 ACC team. They have the second hardest or third hardest schedule in all of NCAA. It's Mississippi State, Oklahoma, and Florida. You can exchange the names. We have the 3 hardest schedule, and number 4 is Wisconsin. So what
Florida's schedule? Florida. I hope after this year, Florida's schedule eases up just a little bit. I mean, Jesus Christ, 2 years in a row.
Look your schedule. We have Arizona State at home playoff team, Texas, Tennessee at home playoff team, Texas and UGA back-to-back, both playoff teams. And the last game is Ole Miss what was a borderline playoff team. That's our home games. How many do we win? Zip. 0. I give us a 50-50 shot against Ole Miss. It's always close. And they beat us by 1 touchdown last year. A little over 1 touchdown. But it was a really close game. Joshua, not this year. They need 2 years, like SMU. Texas Tech has not the players to be in the playoffs.
Texas Tech. Why do I keep hearing so much about Texas Tech all of a sudden?
Texas Tech is one of the richest schools. It's Texas, it's SMU, it's Texas A&M, and Texas Tech. All 4 have billionaires behind them. And if they say, okay, they signed a softball player for $1 million. A softball player, a lady.
Softball for $1 million?
It's no joke. I search it and I put you the link up.
Softball player, $1 million for a softball player.
ESPN, okay. Zack, kopieren. StreamYard, privater Chat, chatten Sie mit SaleenDriver. Bob, you can open. It's there.
Hang on. You caught me in the middle of something here.
Yeah. Take your time.
Where? Oh, it's in the private? Okay, there it is.
Yeah, it's in the private chat.
Okay, hang on. I gotta get it out of this browser because this browser sucks for that. Start a new window. Oh, God damn, that's ugly. Ugh. Hang on.
Take your time.
I intend to.
We are not in a rush.
No. Ooh, she's a horse. She is. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, she is. She's a big old lady.
We sure she's a woman?
Yeah. 100%.
Hold on, let's see if I can back that up a little bit. Najari Kennedy.
Yeah.
Look at this thing. She makes Serena Williams look feminine.
If you look at the LSU picture, Texas picture, Mississippi State picture in softball, they are all horses.
Yeah,
and
but this
one,
they all might be horses, but this one's a Clydesdale, for God's sake.
Yeah, no, she looks normal. She's a normal SEC or a top softball pitcher.
Look at
They all
the
look
face.
the same.
Look at the face on this blonde chick here. Wow, she got a jaw like an icebreaker.
Yeah.
I saw a woman like that coming at me, I'd get scared.
You run away.
Oh.
By the way, the lady on the right side is a 7-time national champion from Oklahoma, the young one in the crimson. On the right side.
Oh, well.
Anyway, just for the record, and Texas Tech,
they're probably not in the guys anyway.
Yeah, Texas Tech has a billionaire behind them, and he doesn't care. Okay, you need 10 million, no problem. You need 5 million, no problem. You need 20 million, no problem.
Well, what else is he going to do with his money? He can't take it with him. If he doesn't want to give it to his family, he might as well give it to his school.
I think that's the reason why Jerry Jones don't dies. He want to give it to his son. How old is Jerry Jones? 190?
I have no idea. I'll look it up. Hang on.
I say he must be 90 at least.
Hang on. How old is Jerry Jones?
Texas has Michael.
He's 82 years old.
82?
He was born October 13th, 1942.
Wow, 83.
82.
Yeah, it's he's in 42 born, and now it's 25. Anyway, 82, 83. But he looks like 150.
Yeah, he does look a little shop worn.
But to his credit, he worked a lot in his life.
Yeah, he did.
So, and I wish him the best. I don't care if Dallas wins or not, even if Dak is their quarterback. Dak made $750 million of Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys. I think Dak will be just fine in his life.
I don't think Dallas is ever going to win any significant number of games, and certainly not going to win a Super Bowl as long as Jerry Jones owns the team.
As long as he's the GM. The next big thing out of the NFC East is Washington. They have.
I've heard that. Now there is a I obviously am not following the National Felons League. I have no interest in that.
Washington has the quarterback to do it. Yeah. That's reason one. They have Jaden Daniels from LSU, the Heisman winner from last year.
So, I just have no interest in the NFL.
And
you know what? If all of a sudden I changed my mind right now and decided to follow a team in the No Fun League, I wouldn't know who to follow. I really wouldn't. I used to follow New England because I was from the area.
Yeah.
And also followed Miami a little bit. And I live near Tampa, so you would think naturally I'd follow the Bucks, but I hate the coach of the Bucks, and I think the owner of the Bucks is a stiff. Yeah. I don't know who else I follow, so even if I became a watcher of the shit product that is the National Felons League, and I could tolerate the woke crap and the rule changes that make the game Oprah-fied, and nobody understands what a catch is, and you can personal foul by touching the quarterback and looking at him cross-eyed and all that crap.
Yeah.
Even if I could stomach all that, which I can't, I wouldn't know who to follow. I wouldn't have the first clue.
I only follow my Mississippi State guys, and they are for the most part at Philadelphia, Kansas City, and at Washington. That's the 3 teams. So, and Fletcher Cox retired this year, and we will see. We had when Philly played Kansas City 2 years ago in the Super Bowl, and they lost.
Yeah, you're right, Jack.
We had on each side, we had 3 players from Mississippi State, 3 on Kansas City, and 3 on Philadelphia. It was amazing.
If Kyle Trask were starting for the Bucks, I would probably root for the Bucks.
He was start. He was start.
Joshua, you're right. I will stick to hockey. Hockey is the last of the major sports that's still somewhat of a man's sport. And even hockey has been wimpified with the instigator rule, and you can't hit anybody anymore. And they changed the icing rules, so it's kind of a candy ass thing going on. Hockey's been wimpified, but not to the extent of football or basketball. And Major League Baseball has always been boring and worthless to me anyway.
I believe in baseball there will be major changes because their TV ratings are down 30% in the last 5 years. And they have massive problems there. There is not a single guy like a Tim Duncan or a Kobe Bryant or a Michael Jordan or a Dr. J.
Larry Bird.
You know what I mean? Such a guy. So,
I guarantee you, if you took some of these so-called modern superstars that are playing in the National Pitchers Association right now and put them on the same court with, say, the 80s or the 80s Celtics or the 80s Lakers or the late 80s, early 90s Bulls or Pistons.
Take the 85 Supersonics with Shrimp and Sean Kemp. They destroy them.
Yeah, I mean, if you could you see Queen Jimmy driving the lane against Bill Laimbeer? Bill Laimbeer would take his head off.
Yeah.
Kurt Rambis would elbow Queen Jimmy into next week.
Yeah.
Like that goofball with the beard that used to play for Houston, whatever the fuck his name is, Harden.
Yeah, James Harden.
He's worthless. You put him on an old school NBA team where they played actual basketball, he wouldn't score 6 points.
I give you an example how useless Harden is. In the 2011 finals, Dirk Nowitzki and Dallas Mavericks won the title. Nowitzki had not a single All-Star on the team in the playoffs. His only All-Star went down 2 weeks before the playoffs with a knee injury, and he had a 90-year-old Jason Kidd as point guard, Jason Terry, Sean Marion, and Tyson Chandler. That was his team, a bunch of veterans and a superstar. So, and he played against Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, and James Harden on one team, the Oklahoma City Thunder. And they had no chance against
there are no legitimate tough guys in the NBA right now. There are no players with balls in the NBA right now. They would all get taken out by, I mean, I remember there was a player for the Boston Celtics way back when that backed up Robert Parrish. His name was Greg Kite.
Yeah.
All Greg Kite was good for was hard fouling the other team's superstar.
Yeah.
He was there to be the sacrificial 5 fouls that would just wear down the other team's superstar.
Yeah.
There were superstars in the NBA back then that were legitimate, strong, tough guys. Did not want to drive the lane against Greg Kite because Greg Kite would take him out.
Yeah,
and that's all he was there to do. And if he scored 4 points in a game, it was bonus.
Do you want to go on offense against Sam Jones and Havlicek and Bill Russell?
Offense against Charles Oakley
Yeah, they eat them alive.
Offense against Patrick Ewing or Rambis or Lambier or Rodman or John Sally. I mean, those guys were legitimate strong arm specialists.
Yeah.
They were really good at hip checking and elbowing and clotheslining, and good, honest, and sometimes dishonest basketball.
The best one of them all with the checking was Stockton from Utah. Everybody
and then you had legit
John
trash
Stockton,
like Larry Bird.
He is by far, and he is with Magic Johnson the best point guard who ever played this game. I have Magic and Stockton on 1, and number 3 Jason Kidd. So that's my.
Don't forget! Oh no! I'm gonna let you get away with that without mentioning Dennis Johnson. You've got to put Dennis Johnson in there as one of the all-time point guards.
Yeah, of course he is an all-time great. But I mean, you have your opinion, I have my opinion. So you say Michael Jordan is the greatest. I say Bill Russell is the greatest. And Lou says,
I just want DJ in the top 5.
He is top 5.
Yeah, you can't mention great point guards without mentioning.
And power forwards, you can say, okay, it's Tim Duncan, it's Dirk Nowitzki, it's Elgin Baylor. I mean, Elgin Baylor is the only big-time, all-time superstar who never won a championship. Can you believe this? Elgin Baylor never won a championship.
Well, don't forget Karl Malone too.
Yeah, the mailman stuck with Stockton and won 5 times or 4 times in the finals in Jordan and the Bulls. He would have,
and Kevin McHale was a very underrated power forward. I mean, that man had an arm span like crazy.
McHale was Celtics, or McHale played for the Celtics, or
Kevin McHale
with Havlicek and with Larry Bird and these guys.
Yeah, the starting 5 for Boston: McHale, Parrish, Bird, Ainge, DJ. You can't get no better than that. That's an all-time team right there. I mean, that's one of the all-time teams.
This team you can send to the Olympics and they win. So, I mean,
and you know what? If Len Bias, I don't know if you remember that name. If Len Bias, who was drafted high by the Celtics and then died the next day from a cocaine overdose, if that guy had not been so utterly stupid and killed himself, Larry Bird would have had a 20-year career.
Yeah.
Because Len Bias was brought into the Celtics for one reason, and that was to learn from and eventually take over from Larry Bird.
Yeah, and give him a 2-minute breather.
Yeah, because Larry Bird was getting up there and his back was beginning to bother him. Len Bias was supposed to be the guy that would make Larry Bird's career go from 13 years to 20.
Yeah, and that's why Doncic was so happy that Nowitzki stuck around another year and he couldn't learn from the best. And Nowitzki took him under his wings and said, "Okay, guy, 6 a.m, you are here in the hall, and we go to work."
If Larry Bird had Len Bias as his protege, Larry Bird would be sitting on 5 or 6 or maybe even 7 rings instead of 3.
I mean, Larry Bird is an all-time. He's a top 10 guy. So
he's a top 3 guy. He's one of the greatest of all time.
Larry Bird is not a top 3 guy.
Yes, he is.
No.
Absolutely. If I had to build a team around any one man, I would build my team around Larry Bird.
I built my team around Bill Russell.
Oh yeah, I was talking a different era.
Yeah, I mean, Bill
Well,
Russell.
Bill Russell is one of the is probably the greatest man to ever lace up sneakers.
Yeah. For me, there is no discussion. There is no MJ or Kobe or Larry Bird or Tim Duncan or Kobe. GOAT. For me, the GOAT is the guy with the 11 rings. And he did it 2 years as a players coach. Most people
You never see
don't
that
even
again,
know
will
this.
you?
Bill Russell is the greatest basketball player who ever was on the court. Is he the greatest athlete? No. That was Michael Jordan. So, but the greatest player and the greatest winner of them all is Bill Russell. Yeah, Plumbers called Will Chamberlain. I want to see Will Chamberlain against Michael Jordan. Who wins? Don't
Bill
tell me
Russell
Michael.
played
Don't tell me Michael
plumbers.
Jordan.
What the Bill Russell played against plumbers? What does that mean?
Yeah.
Bill Russell played against some of the greatest centers of his era. I mean, Wilt Chamberlain was a plumber?
Yeah.
What?
If Will Chamberlain would have played today,
I want to be smoking what Joshua was smoking right now,
Yeah.
man. That must be some good stuff.
yeah. If Bill Russell or Wilt, take Wilt, if Wilt played in today's game, he would score 70 per game on a regular basis, and he would not attempt a single three-pointer. He was
No,
unstoppable.
because nobody goes inside anymore.
Yeah. The last one who did this was Shaq. And Shaq always said, my idol was Wilt. And there must be a reason.
Yeah, because Wilt was a beast inside. Nobody could guard Wilt Chamberlain inside. He was a beast.
Yeah. The only guy who could guard him from time to time was Bill Russell.
Yeah.
So
and of the two, Wilt was the better athlete
by far.
But Bill Russell had the better team.
The better team, and he had the better basketball IQ. He was the leader of the team.
Yeah. And don't forget, he had a great coach behind him in Red Auerbach.
Yeah. Just for me, this teams, Celtic teams, were for me. I mean, I didn't watch them live. I watched all the games on YouTube. This was great, and I prefer Bill Russell games every day over Michael Jordan games, Kobe games, Shaq games. This was great stuff.
You know who never got on those teams? You know who never got the recognition, but he was the quarterback of the team.
Sam Jones.
Cousy.
Yeah, Bob Cousy.
Bob Cousy, man, that man handled the basketball like no other. I mean, he was
Bob
great.
Cousy has 8 championships. Sam Jones has 9 championships, and Bill Russell has 11.
Yeah,
that's the 3 cornerstones of the.
And don't forget the contributions of one Hondo Havlicek.
Yeah.
Talk about a lunchbox player, man. That man would go to war with you.
Yeah. And they played for.
You look at those 60s, 50s, and 60s Celtics teams, up, down, and sideways. Almost every player that touched the parquet is in the Hall of Fame. I mean, those teams were miraculous.
They're all in the Hall of Fame. Oh.
Yep. Can't compare any of them to the modern stuff.
I mean, yeah. Who is this guy from Oklahoma? Anthony Edwards, the Ant-Man, said, yeah, the former players from decades ago, they are not on our level. They are not on our standard. We will
no, they're not on his level. They're about 15 levels above.
And Magic Johnson was asked about that in a TV show. You can look it up on YouTube. There I saw it. And he said he was asked about this comment from Ant-Man. And Magic said, who? And who? Edwards, who? What did he win?
It's amazing to
what
me.
what he's talking about. If
Magic
he wins,
is still alive.
And he said, if he wins a title on his own, he can come back and talk to me. And if he wins 5, he can go to Michael and talk to him. And if he wins 10, he can go to Bill and talk to him. It was great. He said, Edwards, who and who?
Well, Ant-Man will be lucky if he wins 1.
He's overrated.
Who's he playing for now?
Minnesota, I think. I have no
Minnesota? Yeah, they're not likely to win a championship anytime.
I have no clue. The only player I think you could send back in the days is maybe Nikola Jokic. He has the right mindset. He plays the right way, and he is strong enough. And he shoot no dump freeze. He goes inside layups. I take 2 save points over 3 maybe points. He plays the right way, and that's why he won 3 championships or 2. Jokic is the only guy in the current NBA you can take back and play with this guy in the 80s. I mean, he wouldn't be a superstar, but he could play on any Celtics or Lakers or MJ teams or Pistons teams. He's the only guy.
You know what the problem is, Sven? You and I have long memories of a better, and I would argue strongly, for a better time in all the major sports.
Yeah.
There was a better time in hockey when we were young. There was a better time in football. There was a better time in basketball. Baseball has always been hopeless.
Yeah.
So
my favorite football player of all time is Dick Butkus. Nobody knows who this guy is. But I tell you what, if you tell Tom Brady Dick Butkus is coming after you, he leaves the field.
Yep.
I tell you.
I actually had the privilege of watching some old football video in the 70s and the 80s.
Goodness me.
And it was beautiful to watch men and football players hitting each other.
They went to war. They went to war. This was not a game. It was war every week.
It was beautiful.
It was great. Absolute fantastic. And they had 40% less concussions than nowadays. They played hard but fair. There was nobody who, let's say, the quarterback goes down, he got sacked, and the edge rusher falls on his knee on purpose. Nobody did this in the 80s and 70s. Nobody.
No.
They give them the hand and then stand up, quarterback. Let's go.
It was good, hard-nosed football, but all the players, even the quarterbacks, were tough.
Straight in your face. I mean, we had a quarterback at Mississippi State in the 80s, John Bond. He's the only quarterback who won 4 years in a row against LSU. And I
don't know about that, Joshua. I don't know. Maybe they didn't report them as often. But nowadays, if you touch the quarterback with your pinky finger, you get called for a 15-yard personal foul. I mean, the rule changes have softened the game up so much that when you do have a good, solid hit on somebody, you actually hurt them because they're not used to getting hit. They don't know how to take a hit. I would argue. If you get hit, you learn how to take a hit to protect yourself. If you're not allowed to hit anybody anymore, you don't learn to protect yourself and you get hurt.
Make it simple, Saleen. Take the Bears from the 80s and let them play against Mahomes' Chiefs, both in their prime. Mahomes has no chance to beat these guys. No chance.
No. You put Mahomes' team on the field with the 70s Pittsburgh Steelers with guys like Lambeer and all those guys.
Butkus. There's no way Kansas City wins. There's no way in hell. This was steel curtain.
You have to learn how to take a hit in order to take a hit and not get hurt.
Yeah.
And that starts all the way back in high school and pee-wee football.
Yeah.
If you teach football soft, you create soft football players and you create a soft game, and people get hurt more often.
Yeah.
If you don't teach players how to hit properly and take a hit properly, then you hurt them more.
2 billion is one weekend for the NFL. It's one weekend.
That may be.
For sure.
Well, of course you're going to get a $2 billion settlement against 70s and 80s, players against the No Fun League. Because nowadays people will sue anybody over anything. I mean, a woman sued McDonald's and won because they gave her a cup of hot coffee and she put it between her legs and then stopped short or suddenly or something and spilled hot coffee all over her crotch. So, and sued McDonald's and won because she was an idiot. Yeah, I know about CTE. It is a tragedy, but you know what? Nobody held a gun to these players' heads and told them to go play football. Going to play football is a voluntary activity.
Yeah.
You don't have to play football.
Look,
you can go work at a coal mine, or you can go learn how to program a computer, or you can go, run a bowling alley or something like that. You didn't have to play football. You knew there were risks when you signed up to play the game.
Yeah, I played baseball and got my knee destroyed.
Yeah,
it is what it is.
I played little league hockey when I was a kid in Boston, and even with the face guards and everything that they give the kids, I still got hurt. Yeah. But you know what? I asked to play hockey. I convinced my mom and dad to let me play hockey when I was a little boy. And, we were living in Boston. We saw hockey every other night on TV. We knew what hockey was. I'm not saying I was any good. I was okay. I was like every other 4, 5, 6-year-old playing hockey. I could barely skate. I could barely move, but
it was fun.
You got hurt. You took pucks. You got hit. You fell down. You get back up and you keep playing. But it was voluntary. CTE comes from all kinds of. CTE comes in all kinds of flavors. But I don't understand this. I'm going to sue the league 40 years after I retired because reasons, knowing that the NFL will probably settle out of court because they don't want the publicity and it's easier to pay the players off than anything else. I'm sorry. You signed up to play the game. You were paid to play the game. You knew the risks, or at least some of the risks. It's a full contact sport. And I'm sorry that in your old age, your knees are torn up, your hips are torn up, your joints are torn up, and you can't remember, events that happened 5 minutes ago. I'm sorry. I'm genuinely sorry about your current health status. It doesn't mean you get a free pass to sue the NFL. As much as I hate the NFL, I don't think you have a free pass to sue them. You signed up to play the game. You signed up to play a heavily physical contact sport. And those are the results. I'm sorry. I get into a car, I start the engine. I know that there's a chance that I get into my car, start the engine, back out of my garage and take a drive. I know there's a risk that somebody might T-bone me and hurt me or end my life. But if I get hit by another car in my car, do I turn around and sue Hyundai? No. I knew the risks when I got in the car. I knew the risk when I got up on the ladder to go change a light bulb. Do I turn around and sue the light bulb manufacturer or the ladder manufacturer? Come on. Let's get real, people.
Yeah.
I mean, there's risks in life.
Yeah.
We assume the risks in life. I mean, I can get out of bed tomorrow morning and twist my ankle. Or, I can get in the shower and slip and fall. Do I sue the towel manufacturer? Yeah.
No, the water company.
Yeah, I'll sue the water company. Yeah, there you go.
Because the water was wet and you slid out.
Somebody should have told me that water is slippery when it's wet. Oh.
Yeah. They should write it down in introductions.
Yeah, it should be taught in school. Watch out for water, folks. Water is wet and it's slippery.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know anymore. I don't know anymore.
How was your week?
Yeah, my week was okay.
Yeah.
You mean this week or last week?
No, this week.
Yeah, this week was fine. I mean, I didn't do anything really for the 4th.
Yeah.
Stayed home. Didn't really want to go anywhere. Had a nice weekend. Helped both my daughters out quite a bit yesterday. Had to do a lot of dad stuff.
It's good.
Today was uneventful for the most part, and I'm taking my older daughter and my mom and my older daughter's boyfriend out to dinner tonight. So that'll be nice.
Good for you.
And I got a call from my younger daughter. She had a blood test done because her doctor ordered it, and she called me up saying, "What do all these numbers mean?" I say, "Excuse me, where does it say you're mistaking me for your grandpa, who was the doctor, not me? Well, what does this mean?" So, bottom line is the numbers she gave me that, well, I know because I have to know certain numbers because they affect my health. So she read me the numbers that she thought I would understand, and all those numbers were well within the green, except for her glucose number, which was a bit high, and that was because she didn't fast for 12 hours before the test, but it wasn't overly high. So it's like, you're fine. Show the numbers to your doctor and let her talk it over with you. But the numbers that you're telling me you're fine. You don't have any problems. You're 24 fucking years old. What do you expect it to be? Do you expect to be dying already? I mean, come on. So she's fine.
Yeah.
She's looking forward to moving out of her place in Tampa and getting the hell out of there.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, Friday I get rid of my stitches,
crutches,
and scratches, and then I can walk again.
Well, don't you have to go through some physical therapy first?
I do physical therapy every day in my baseball club. We have a it's not only baseball. We have gyms. We have underwater pools. You can underwater walking do, and it's a club with 25,000 members. It's a second largest club in Berlin, and we have all rehab things there.
Nice.
And a buddy of mine picks me up at 10 in the morning, and I'm in the club until 4. The rehab goes 3.5 hours. Then I eat something there and drink a coffee, and then I watch the kids practice, and then I go home. And that's my daily life right now. Yeah.
Could be worse.
But nobody told me don't play baseball. It was my decision, and I got my knee destroyed. I know the risk, but I did it. And I can't sue anybody. Why should I? Makes no sense.
Well, if you were in America, I bet you get a lot of calls from slip and fall lawyers saying, "Oh, come on, you can sue the owner of the baseball park for an unsafe environment." Some crap like that.
My words, get the hell out of here. Money is good to have to a certain degree, but money is not all in life.
No, that's true.
And everybody who was really injured or had really health issues will understand this. I had cancer, and money means nothing to me. Nothing. I needed to get my life done, but that's it. I don't need 1 million. I don't need 500,000. I don't need it.
Well, if you have some money that you don't want, you can always give it to me.
That's not my point. I mean,
No,
I'm not Elon Musk, and if you need $10, or if I lose a bet with $10, I'm happily send you the money. But I mean,
no, I mean more like $3,000, but I appreciate it.
Yeah, that's a little bit over a monthly income for me.
I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, I know. You are joking.
No, I really would like to have $3,000, but who wouldn't?
Yeah, but I mean, at the end, if someone told you are 50 years old, and someone said, "Okay, I give you $1 million, but you die in 6 years," or
No.
I don't give you $1 million, and you live happily until you're 85, you go to bed, and you don't wake up the next morning. What do you take? You take the latter one.
Yeah. Well, I would ask for 90.
Easy call.
I would like to ask for 90, but
yeah, 85 or 90 or whatever. But you get what I mean.
Oh yeah. No, I got $1 million and I only live 6 years. Well, for one thing, that's too low a figure. Yeah. Maybe 100 million. I only get 6 years, and the balance can go to my children. I might think about that.
Yeah, but I teach my children to take care of themselves, and I paid a lot of money to get them educated, and I worked hard.
Well, I did that too. I tried to teach both my daughters to be as self-sufficient as they could be. The only problem was I was working against my ex-wife, who did not share that philosophy with me.
Yeah, and my kids, they had to learn in 2nd grade Latin. I sent them to a private school in Berlin, it was the only school who teach Latin in the 2nd grade, and they hated me for 3 years. But then came English around, then came French around, and it was easy for them because all Roman speeches, English, Spanish, Italian, Portuguese, are all based on Latin.
But why did you make them take Latin as 2nd graders? That seems to be extremely cruel.
Latin is the base language for all Western European languages.
No,
French.
I know that. I know that. And I'm saying that as a 2nd grader, you make them take Latin. I mean, that's harsh.
No. The earlier you start, the easier.
They're your kids. I mean, they're your kids, not mine.
Yeah.
Nobody in this country teaches Latin.
They didn't like it in 2nd, 3rd, and 4th grade, but in 5th grade, they loved me. And in 6th grade, 7th grade, they loved me. And they didn't have Latin until the 12th class. They took Latin only for 4 years.
But I mean, I was actually looking at I don't remember what I was looking at, but German is particularly tough language because those words are long.
Yeah, I mean, they had German classes. They are German kids, and they had German classes from day one. Like you had English in Florida or in Boston or wherever you grew up. You had English and math from day one at school. That's a natural language, and you learn your natural language with grade 1.
Yeah. So, Joshua, Welsh is also very hard. That's true.
Yeah, and what I want to do was I want to give my kids an advantage to learn other languages easier.
Well, yeah.
So,
Sven, I'm going to shut the stream down a little early.
Yeah, it's okay.
I gotta do a couple things around the house before I have to leave.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna. Guys, there's only 5 people in here anyway. So
yeah. I wish you a nice week, and you kick me out. Okay.
Okay. Thank you for coming in.
See you next week.
Okay.
Maybe not. I have on Wednesday. Is this Wednesday or Thursday? I don't know. Maybe I come 20 minutes later. I have to look it up.
Okay. See you later.
We will see. Yeah.
Okay. And thank you all for coming in. Only a few of you around, but appreciate it. Don't forget to click the thumbs up button on your way out if you haven't already done so. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Joshua. Thank you to everyone else who participated. And even if y'all were only in here for a moment, thank you for being here for that moment. Appreciate it. We'll see y'all next week for episode 225 of Wednesday Afternoon Live with me, the SaleenDriver. Have a good weekend.